Hey guys, my name is Joey Lem. Welcome to the Sour channel where everything here is lemony yellow. So today I was gonna upload a reaction video of Jake Paul's newest YouTube diss track. I realized that halfway through making the video, I was making a completely different video. There's a couple of lines that go something like, where were you when I was helping kids from committing suicide? Where were you when I was helping kids from being bullied in school? Where were you when people were suffering through depression and I was there to help them? You know, like where the news at? He's basically directing all of these comments, all this hate towards his own haters, trying to make them feel like ashamed that they're hating on him when he's doing all these other great stuff. And I talked a little bit about these lines in the original reaction video, and I said doing good things doesn't make up or cover all the bad things that you've done in life. And in fact, like when you use all the good things, when you bring up all the good things in a song like this, you're just making yourself look more like an arrogant jerk that needs affirmation that you are a good person from everybody that he meets. Jake is pretty much trying to paint this pretty picture of himself while accusing everyone else that's talking smack about him that they're lying, they're telling fake news. Sound kind of familiar? And you know, it doesn't really affect me personally in any way because I couldn't care less about this guy. But then I looked at the number of views and the number of likes that this video had, and this thought kind of hit me. There are a lot of people, especially kids, that are watching this video, that are not just watching these videos but are learning from this video, that are agreeing to his message. And say what you will about this guy, like how bad he is or whatever, but everybody has their own audience. An audience being a group of people that are into you, that agree with you, that support you all the way. Which leads me to my main topic, YouTube role models, or just role models. When I was growing up, I looked up to a lot of Asian YouTubers like Nika Higa, Kev Jumba, Freddie Wong, Wong Fu Productions, of course, and I was inspired by the way that they told their stories so effortlessly. They also just seemed like the nicest people ever. Hashtag nice guy. So beginning somewhere in middle school, my personality and my ideas were kind of shaped to some extent by these people that I looked up to. I don't really follow them as much as I used to back then, but the memory of their inspiration is still relevantly there. I also remember a majority of my Asian friends watching these same YouTubers. You know, we would quote the same things from the videos, we would use the same jokes, we would try to apply the life advice that they were giving us through those videos. It was like our sense of humor was being shaped by these YouTubers into a specific sort of style. For example, if you're a fan of Wong Fu, you probably grew up with the awkward comedy style, which is basically another way of saying that it's cute or funny to be awkward. You're basically an awkward turtle. When I went to college, I found a whole group of people that watched the same exact videos that I did growing up. They would use the same jokes, quote the same things, the same exact awkward humor. And looking back on that now, I think, wow, a whole generation of people grew up on these videos and have taken with them to some extent a part of these YouTubers as they grew up. Now imagine the same exact thing, but replace Wong Fu with Jake Paul. Now Jake Paul's videos are completely different from what Wong Fu makes. The comedy, the morals, the art style, everything is just completely different. I'm not making this comparison to say that Wong Fu is better than Jake Paul, because that would be like comparing oranges and apples together. And just like oranges and apples, I'm allergic to apples. So of course I'm gonna have a tendency to eat oranges over apples. My point in making this comparison is that there are people out there who actually like eating apples. Actually like watching Jake Paul. There's a large audience out there that loves watching prank videos. They like watching people get physically hurt even if it means potentially injuring them for the long term. There are people out there who think it's okay to act like a 10-year-old. You can do whatever you want, whether climbing vans when you're not supposed to or burning furniture in your pool in the backyard. All you gotta do is dab on the haters. There are people that love to watch drama being stirred up between couples and exes. There are people out there who think it's okay to use your wife as a marketing tool for your own channel. There are people out there who think it's funny to ask your fans if they're carrying nukes on them.
Hi.
Man, can you put this on vlog, please, bro?
Yes. Where are you from?
I'm from Kazakhstan originally, but
It sounds like you're just gonna blow someone up.
thank you so much.
You're like, send the nuke! Send the nuke! Send the nuke!
And there are people out there who think it's funny to watch your dad make out with a girl you just made out with. I'm not even kidding you, that's an actual video that Jake Paul made. The Paulers, which is another name for Jake Paul's fans, are labeling all of his shenanigans as savage.
Savage, savage, savage.
which kind of makes all the negative things that he's been doing sound more humorous and more acceptable and more like it's okay to do those things because it's funny and it's cool. Before I mentioned about how I and a bunch of other people grew up on the awkward comedy. What we're talking about right now is this new thing that I'm gonna start calling savage comedy. And this includes comedy that aims to entertain people through any means possible, usually through the acts of like slapstick, roasting people, stirring controversy, basically trying to one-up other people and making yourself look cool doing it. Though I will say that savage comedy can be funny, there is a certain time and place for those things. It's the same thing with awkward comedy. I will also say that savage comedy, at least in my own opinion, should be more limited than other forms of comedy just because of the bigger potential of harming other people. For example, I used to hang out with a lot of people that had this savage humor and they would just do it non-stop. We would always be constantly roasting each other, trying to one-up each other every single time we talked. But it got to the point where we started roasting each other behind people's backs, and that led to gossip, and then the gossip led to breaks in the relationship, and now I have no friends. You live and you learn. So now imagine Jake Paul, whose entire brand is based off of this savage comedy. I don't know, I feel like that's not a guy that you would want to hang out with. You know, it's one thing to utilize savage humor in your videos. I think it's another thing to become an immature, ignorant jerk yourself, which is what I believe Jake Paul is right now. He's just a conceited jerk that doesn't listen to anyone else except for his own opinions. He's too prideful to understand things. He's too cocky. He'd rather bring up all the good things he's done in life instead of trying to repent of all the bad things that he's done. He would rather try to shame the haters instead of trying to change his ways, try to show more love towards these people or the people around him instead. If you go to the YouTube diss track video, you can see in the comment down below, he pins it up there. He says, "I'm sorry for the mistakes I've made and the dumb things I've said, but we're all human and humans deserve forgiveness," which to me doesn't show remorse for the things that he said. To have that but there where it's like but everybody makes mistakes, we all deserve forgiveness. It doesn't feel like he's really asking for forgiveness. It feels like he's asking more for tolerance for the things that he's going to do in the future. It sounds like he's going to keep doing these same stupid, dumb things that he's already been doing, maybe even worse, but he's just asking you now to continually forgive him again and again and again. And to me, it doesn't sound like he's asking for forgiveness. It sounds like he's more asking for tolerance to allow him to continually do these bad things and not have that hate for him. When you ask people for forgiveness, there's this call to you now for repentance, not to us for tolerance. I don't know if that's gonna click with any of you guys, but just think about that for a bit. My point is, there is a whole generation of kids out there that are learning from these videos. I know I was talking about Jake like this entire video, but it's not just his videos that are bad. I've watched other YouTubers rant about Instagram comedians, and I'm gonna be kind of blunt here, and it's gonna get a little bit PG-13. A majority of this humor is basically based on rape. Let's just call it rape comedy. Doesn't that sound weird? Like, how can there be comedy about rape? Doesn't that blow your mind? I also discovered recently that back in the day, there was this YouTube channel that basically the mom and the dad abused their children for views, and it was working. Like, they were getting more popular and popular. Now, I believe in freedom of speech, but not everything you're going to do, not everything you're going to say is going to be a good thing. I 100% don't believe that child abuse is funny no matter how you mask it. Same thing with rape. I mean, you could argue and say that, well, there's also satire, but satire is supposed to make you think more about the important issues that are being displayed. It's not supposed to make you laugh for the sake of the joke. There are a ton of internet celebrities out there whose brand is solely based on these inappropriate comedic styles, and maybe even worse than those things. When these comedic styles become mainstream, our children are going to be using these. When our children start using these, it becomes the norm. So my question here now is, can we do better? Can we become the role models that we want our children and even their children to become? You know, I'm done commenting on all the bad role models out there and expressing sorrow and anger. That just takes up way too much energy. Instead, I want to put my all into being the role model that I want the next generation to respect. I want to show compassion to other people. I want to use humor to lift people up instead of bringing them down. I want to speak life instead of despair. So will you, viewer, join me in doing so? This is so cheesy. Thanks for listening, guys, and I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more videos, click on the videos to my left, your right, or if I'm messing up right now, it's this way, but you'll see the videos either way. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, or if you want, you can also comment and tell me about what you liked, what you didn't like, what you agree with, what you don't agree with. I love to hear your thoughts. Question of the day: who were your role models growing up? Leave a comment down below, tell me your story, and as always, stay true, stay you, and stay sour. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.